factors on Fox Sports Radio and Sunday night is the Falcons.
Yeah, you better believe we are looking live. You better believe it. Chargers week, huh? I'm not seeing anybody in here. That's a concern for me. Is that something I need to know? Are we good? We here? Microphone work? We here? There we go. Who's the first person that's going to say, I can hear you? CJ! Whoa! CJ's locked in, my nephew, for the monologue. Well, get ready, because I'm going to rip the freaking roof off.
I got to put the delay on.
No, you don't have to put the delay on. We got a little protein coffee going.
All right.
Kenny's locked in. Where can you find that podcast with Max? How about Raiders.com? How about on the flagship team's website, Raiders.com?
Also LV Sports Network.
LV Sports Network. Right? Man, I had a good morning. I was on with my buddy Sam Batesh. We did like 40 minutes. Yep, got in my pool today, which was gorgeous today.
Was that before or after the podcast?
That was before the podcast today. And I don't have to work. Yeah, Sam. And I don't work Thursday night or Friday night, which is nice. Big D. How did Lee Sterling do last week? He's texting me his picks. How did Lee Sterling do last week? I'm going to stand up today. Why don't we stand up? Why don't we fix this and stand up? Oh, I need my live reads. What? My wife's homework assignment. She made me a live read folder because I'm like a 12-year-old and I can't do anything unless my wife does it.
Oh, you do have 19.
Yeah.
By the way, we do still have Resorts World?
No, we don't. We don't have it, but we have lounges in Resorts World. So we can give the perception. But hey, the big update is we added Fountain Blue to the show. Finley Volvo and Click Hospitality. Click basically runs 8 Cigar Lounge, Bel Air Lounge, the big lounge over at the Cosmo. It's big. 9/11. I begin 9/11 making the sign of the cross to my fraternity brother, James Joseph Kelly, who lost his life 24 years ago today. Kells, may you rest in peace.
All right.
Don't miss every Monday with me live at Silver Sevens starting at 2 p.m. P.S. First 20 listeners, you get your first beer free.
Wake up with the morning tailgate with Dave Baker, weekday mornings from 7 to 10 on Raider Nation Radio 920 KRLD Las Vegas.
This is Max Crosby, the Las Vegas Raiders, and you're listening to JT the Brick on Raider Nation Radio.
It's the JT the Brick Show.
If you're in a relentless pursuit of finding the competitive edge in everything you're doing, you got to be on.
100%. I expect to win every time I come on the field. I don't care what we're doing. You know what I mean? It's every drill, everything we do. I'm expecting to win.
Your silver and black home to sound off for over 25 years.
This is going to be a battle. This is going to be physical. This is going to be old school football.
Yes, sir. As a great man once said, just win, baby.
And now, here's JT the Brick.
Out of the gate, JT with you as we get rolling here, live from Lotus Broadcasting. Brought to you by Golden Entertainment. They own PTs. The best happy hour in town, 5 to 7, midnight to 2. PTs fuels the monologue. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to get into the stream. We live stream the show. At times, it's more important to me than anything. It gives added value to my partners. As we added new partners this week, Click Hospitality. They own some of the best lounges in Las Vegas, from 8 Cigar Lounge to Gatsby's to Bel Air at Durango. We added Finley Volvo on the 215 at Rainbow. We got a big car company now. And we added Fountain Blue, one of the most glorious and largest buildings ever assembled in Las Vegas, home of the Hall of Excellence. We added that to the show this year, plus all of our proud partners. So I'm going to give you a minute to get in here. I'm wearing the AC/DC shirt today for a reason. And I think it would be better if you can watch me than listen to me, because I'm about to go off. So I'm all in right now. I'm all in right now. Let's go. Here we go. 1-0. The Raider Nation is united. From the voice of the Raider Nation, I can tell you the Raider Nation is united. There's no more whining. There's no more crying. Who's the coach? Who's the GM? We are united throughout the global Raider Nation as the Chargers come to town, and we need to take them down. We need to put them down. We got an opportunity to go 2-0. This is it. Rolling thunder, pouring rain. This is the moment. Raider Nation is united. You know it. I just said it. Come on. Come with me. Let's go. Yes. So we're ready to go today. Are you? Show started 4 minutes ago. Where are you? I'm going big today. I'm excited. We got to win this game. And as we said, it's not a must-win game. It's week 2. It's the home opener. We've been good in home openers. We beat Lamar Jackson and Drew Brees. Home openers, we've been okay. We've been all right in this spot. Home openers, we've been okay against the Chargers. The greatest game ever played at Allegiant Stadium was when we beat the Chargers with no time left to go to the playoffs. Playoffs, yes. Raiders have been to the playoffs. Haven't won a playoff game in a long time, but we've been. So this is it. We got to win this game. Now, the Chargers are very good. As I said all week long on the show, when we're live on YouTube, get in, JT the Brick YT. We're live on X at JT the Brick. This is the most concerned I've been about the Chargers in my career. Year 28 with the team. The level of concern is at a 9. It was not at a 9 with Phillip Rivers, LaDainian Tomlinson, Hall of Famer Antonio Gates, and even Junior Seau. Sometimes it was about an 8, but I've never been more concerned about that organization because they finally figured it out. They're good. They're very good. They have very good players. You know that. Now you could say, well, they're the Chargers. They have one fan who happens to be their new super fan. That lady who's also a Viking fan that we caught her at the Viking game doing a fake Viking thing, and she's a Charger fan. She was on the YouTube channel. We have real fans. We have Violator, Gorilla Rilla. We have Just Win Wendy. We have real fans, right? Senor. We got great fans. Thor. We got fans. We got the Black Hole. There's no comparison to the Chargers. But they're coming. They got some fans coming. Chargers are building some energy now. They are, and we got to take it down. We got to beat them here. Now, if you don't beat them here, the team, then how do you expect to beat them in L.A. where we don't beat them in L.A.? So this is our home. Pete Carroll wants me to talk about it. If you didn't hear my Pete Carroll interview yet, it's trending at Raiders.com, and he wants to talk to the fans. He gets it. Antonio Pierce loved the fans. Josh McDaniels, he needed the fans, but he was He was a cerebral kind of X's and O's guy, the fan thing. You never liked him. You never gave him a chance. You never gave him a chance. You were right. He's out of here. Okay, we beat him last week. It was good to me, but you didn't like him. Rich Bisaccia you liked. We didn't bring him back, and then you all love John Gruden. Most people love Gruden. But everybody likes Pete Carroll now because you respect him. You know about the halftime adjustments that worked in New England. You know about his success with Seattle going east. Do you know that Pete Carroll on Monday Night Football with Seattle was 14-4? Holy cow, that's like Ken Stabler Madden stuff. So we got a coach that can win in any atmosphere at any time. We haven't had that in a long time. We haven't had a coach that when he came out of the tunnel, you say, we're good. You like the coaches, and they were all good coaches, but Pete Carroll's at a different level than most of them, other than Flores, Madden, and Gruden. And, Gruden's got a Super Bowl. Pete's got one. Pete's the head coach now. I'm fully behind him. Great guy, and really been good to me so far in our first 2 interviews. So let's get a win for him. What's it going to take to win? We got experts today. First off, Lee Sterling will pick games coming up. We have him a little bit later on at the 45. We also have Scott Kaplan from ESPN in LA. I made him a Raider fan, but he knows the Chargers well. He lived in San Diego his whole career. He's on in LA on ESPN, the number 2 media market. You might have heard the Chargers are based in LA. The franchise, Lee Hacksaw Hamilton. Show me your lightning bolt. Hacksaw is going to join us. He's the former voice of the Chargers. He's not very nice with the Raiders, but he's been nicer because I think he likes the direction they're going in. And Wasted Talent, the exceptional Raider podcaster that we've made an insider on this show. So that's a pretty good show, don't you think? We had a big one yesterday. The number 702-365-9200. I look for the best of the best, and I look for fans from all over the country to call me, wherever you are, globally too. 702-365-9200. Pretty cool story yesterday. Yesterday, my day started interviewing Pete Carroll. Then I interviewed Max Crosby. Then I went to my son's office, proud of my son, both my sons, went to his office where I did the Laying the Wood podcast with Rod Woodson, and our guest was Tim Brown. So who in all of sports radio yesterday did that? Interviewed Pete Carroll, Max Crosby, Tim Brown, and Rod Woodson. I had a banner day yesterday. I mean, it was exceptional. And now I get a chance to do it again in the Raider Nation, wearing my AC/DC shirt, fired up for today. There's a little bit of confusion. I don't have the who are most likely banged up, but hopefully play. And then we're going to have next man up guys, right? Next guys up who can step in and do it. If a linebacker goes out and you tell me Jamal Adams is going to play the whole game, I'm okay with that. A year ago, I wasn't okay with that with Jamal Adams. If you tell me that we're going to give Darian Porter some more reps at corner because he didn't get any, he played special teams, I'm okay with that because Pete loves to play young guys. But here's the focus of the monologue, brought to you by our great friends at the Fontainebleau, the home of the Hall of Excellence, led by Jim Gray, Fran Gray, and the great Tom Brady. Go see the most spectacular sports Hall of Fame that I've ever seen, the Hall of Excellence at Fontainebleau. What's going on with our offensive line? What's going on? We gave up 4 sacks, and we couldn't open up holes. We had a tough time opening up holes for Aston Genty. What's going on here? We're going to fix this? We're going to be able to fix this or what? It's the home opener. I need to know that this offensive line isn't going to have false starts. I need to know that this offensive line can figure out Khalil Mack. I need to know that this offensive line can pick up stunts. And that's what concerned Eric Allen, Lincoln Kennedy, and people that I talked to. If you have a defensive line as good as the Chargers and they're stunting, which means the tackles are pulling and the edge rushers are coming up the middle, we're not very good yet. We could end up being good, but we're not good on tape. And what happens if they bring the blitz? Do we know who's next to us? Like, are we good? I know you go out to dinner with one another, but are we good enough to say, no, I got him. Meredith's got to call out the coverage. Jackson Powers Johnson's got to go, okay, I got 2 guys in front of me. One is a defensive end who was supposed to line up next to DJ Glaze, but he's in my house, and a defensive tackle stunting my way. Do we have to leave in a running back to block? Or can we go open with no one in the backfield? I don't know. The Chargers concern me. I think they're well coached. I think they have good players. Most of their players are healthy. Ladd McConkey's healthy. Keenan Allen's healthy. They got guys who can play. And Amari Hampton, their running back's really good, but he didn't get off in the first game, kind of like Ashton. He didn't get off. So I think they're going to run it. I was on a podcast earlier today with my buddy Sammy Batesh, and he said, well, what happens if the Chargers kind of want to run the ball? And I said, great, I'll go pick them up at the airport and drive them. Please run it. Please run it. Even if you're a little bit successful, every time Justin Herbert fades back, I'm concerned because he can make every throw. If our linebackers and safeties don't protect the middle of the field, we're dead. We're dead. Did you hear that? I'll say it again in 3, 2, and 1. If our linebackers, nickel or dime corners, and our safeties don't protect the middle of the field, we're dead. Justin Herbert will eat us up and spit us out. Remember that. For years, I've been telling you, for years, we can't guard a tight end. The middle of the field is our nemesis. You don't think Jim Harbaugh knows that? John Harbaugh knows that. So we got to figure this out. And I think we can figure it out because Jamal Adams will be on the field in some pass coverage, but he'll also be blitzing. I think Jeremy Chin could play closer to the line of scrimmage and drop into coverage. Isaiah Palamal already has an interception, but Caillou Blue Kelly and Eric Stokes, I'm starting to believe, man, but I got to see the home opener. So that's where I'm at now. So we have a limited time to talk to you. The phones are open. Bobby unlocked them. 702-365-9200. And let's hear what you got to say on this game. This is kind of the rah-rah portion of the week. I came in with my backpack today and I said, Bobby, can we have easier Thursdays and Fridays? Because I'm working my ass off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Can we have like some cool Thursdays and Fridays? And he said, yes. We're going to pick games with Lee Sterling. We're going to have wasted talent. We have fun with Hacksaw. And we'll take some phone calls. The Chargers are a favorite coming into Vegas. How is that possible? How are they the favorite when we have Geno Smith, Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, Jacoby Myers, and Max Crosby? How are they the favorite? Well, Vegas thinks they're better than us. They went to the playoffs last year. Vegas, the bent noses, they think they're better. So, on paper, I don't think they're better than the Raiders. They haven't played each other. I can tell you on Tuesday or Monday night on the postgame show if they're better. I'll be able to tell you. And I'll tell you that. I'll tell you the truth. I'm not going to mock the Raiders if they don't win. I know some of you nut jobs want me to mock the team. But if they don't win the game, we'll be brutally honest. And we'll tell you what happened. But I'm hoping they win this game. My buddy Sammy told me this will be the 6th time in 30 years, potentially, the Raiders have gone 2-0. I said, excuse me? He said this would be the only 6th time in 30 years the Raiders went 2-0. I said, oh, boy. I go, really? We haven't been 2-0 a bunch? No, we haven't. But we're 1-0, and I think that's important because 1-0 can get you to 2-2. Last year, we were 2-1. I tell the story, and we weren't prepared to play Carolina. For whatever reason, Bryce Young was benched. The Red Rocket Andy Dalton was put in. We had a home game against Carolina to go 3-1, and we got blown out. We got embarrassed, man. It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. That was Carolina. They're arguably the worst team in football. And then we lost 10 in a row. So going 1-0 gives us the ability to go 2-0. And then we have the Washington Commanders, and then we have the Chicago Bears. You know what I was telling Bobby when I came in? Man, I wish we were playing the Bears. I wish the home opener was against the Bears. You see how bad the Bears looked against J.J. McCarthy? I wish the Bears were here, but no, they gave us the Chargers. And the Chargers just destroyed. They really did destroy Kansas City. The game was closer than you think, but the Chargers were the much better team. So I'm really excited because I'm going to the fight on Saturday night, and then I'm going to the game on Monday. And I think we got a big weekend in Vegas. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck are coming in. Troy didn't mention us the other night. Didn't mention us. Most people, when they're coming to Vegas, can't stop talking about it. They tell everybody. They tell the grocery store attendant. They tell the pool guy. They tell the UPS driver, I'm going to Vegas. Troy didn't say that. Troy didn't tell anybody he was coming to Vegas at all. Didn't say that Gino played well. He's coming to call the game. And it's a different moment now. This is it for us. We have a chance to have nice things. You know, a lot of Raider fans call me and they say, JT, we don't have nice things. Whenever we do something, we take one step forward and 2 steps back. Yeah, that's kind of been true lately. How about winning this game to go to 2-0 and really taking the heat off? Taking the heat off of the Washington game. Because Washington's pretty good. They got a really good quarterback, but we finally have a quarterback older and smarter than Jaden Daniels. Maybe not as unique outside the pocket. But as I've talked about this all week, Geno Smith gives the Raider Nation the opportunity to win everywhere. We got a guy that can win in a blowout. We got a guy that can take us from behind and win a game. We got a guy that can close out a game in the fourth quarter. I mean, we got a lot of things happening here with Geno that could help us out. Now, if you said who's better, Herbert or Geno, I think Herbert's a better talent than Geno, but Geno's easily capable of beating Herbert, easily. And we need that Geno. Geno had a pretty good week 1. So that's where I'm going. And I'd like the show to match my energy, please. That's all I ask you to do. Match the energy. Come on in. Come on into our house on Raider Nation Radio. This is Thursday before the game. Okay? It's not Thursday in August. You know, heading into a preseason game. So we want to get rolling here. Follow us on all our social media. Lee Hacksaw Hamilton will join us. Wasted Talent, Lee Sterling, Scott Kaplan, and I just got a text from Johnny Katz, our entertainment reporter, who's in London. He's in London, Bobby. So he's, lucky him, and he's there for a Penn and Teller anniversary. He's friends with those guys, and he might check in, which is really cool if we can take a call from London today. All right, Gangsta Raider has been active this week on the channel, and we're excited to hear from him as we head into game 1. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Gangsta Raider reporting from behind enemy lines. Well, kind of, sort of. You know, L.A. is still Raider Nation territory, so it's kind of behind enemy lines. But I've been watching a lot of Charger interviews and stuff, and they was interviewing Coach Harbaugh. And I'm really into body language. And so when they was asking about the Chiefs, he had his chest out. He was all proud talking about the Chiefs. But then they asked him about the Raiders, and his body language changed completely. He went from words, his shoulders got all cowered in. And then when they asked him about Coach Pete, he had this look like he know he can't really beat him. And then he was really worried about not only about Geno, but he was worried about Aston Genty. And then when they mentioned Chip Kelly, his face got flushed. He looked like he was, like you mentioned, the boogeyman to him. So I say that to say this. I think they more worried about us than we are about them. You know what I'm saying? Because we're in the perfect spot right now, because if we just handle our business, we 2-0 in the division, first place, you know what I mean? And we got the upper hand on the division already. I think Kansas City is going to go 0-2 because they got to play Philly. You know what I'm saying? And I think Denver, they got a tough game. I'm not going to say what's going to happen to them, but we're in the perfect spot. And I think Jim Harbaugh knows that, because I could see the body language on them. They really worried about us. And this game can take us to the next level. It's not the most important game we had in Vegas. That was the playoff game to me. But this is the most game that we got to win. You know what I'm saying? It's not a must win, but we can't lose it. And I think they're really worried about it. We can do it. I already told you my prediction, 34-17. We just got to black out the stadium. Ain't no way we should let them 12 Charger fans overrun our stadium. Let's do it. Keep it gangster, y'all. I'm gone.
Yeah, that'd be a nice score to see. Let's go to Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll just hit the podium, the head coach. Bobby, are we ready to go? The head coach of the Silver and Black.
Your history with Jim has been a fun rivalry to watch, but it's always been respectful. I'm not trying to make it anything that's not. But what's your fondest memory of this rivalry with Jim Harbaugh?
I remember Jim. No, I have no fond memories. I'm not going to go there. They're good. That's great games. They've been great games. That's all.
He said that
been a bunch of them.
that you guys in a different life could have been great teammates. When he says something like that, what is that?
Well, I think that would come from the. He's seen my game, And so he would like me to help him win, if I could. And so he'd like us to play together, I guess. But one thing we would certainly see eye to eye on is about competing. He's always been a great competitor, and he battled through so much in his playing days and in his coaching days as well. So I appreciate him saying that, because I'd like to play with him too.
He said that you're not on each other's Christmas, or he's not on your Christmas card list. You expect a birthday card from him then?
Well, I'm surprised he would say that, because he sends me a birthday card every year. So I don't know what to tell you.
Pete, after having a few days off, just how is Landon Roberts doing with the sprained elbow? Is there?
He's not looking at this game like he can't play. And just like Brock, they're not looking like that at all. They think they're playing. So we'll see what happens. They got to practice through the week and make it through it. But just in the walkthroughs and all already, they look fine.
Do you expect them to practice?
They're going to do what we asked them to do. They've already got through the walkthroughs and done that. We're going to take them day by day. And I would expect before the week's over, they would.
When you reviewed the film, was there anything that surprised you in a positive sense that maybe was even better than you thought?
Yeah, I was really fired up about the consistency in our effort chasing the football and defense. I thought that all the way through the game, the guys were really on it. The hitting was there. Our tackling was sharp. Guys knocking the piles back, all of that, just the effort that they brought. I was really fired up about. We'd only played probably 8 or 9 snaps at any one time, in a game, so you can't tell. And so you get 40 and 50 plays in the game, and they're still going. D linemen are chasing the screens and all that stuff out on the perimeter. That's what we hope to see, and so we're really pleased about that.
How surprising was it that it was week 1 and there wasn't very many missed tackles?
Well, we've been working really hard on it. I'm not surprised by it. I'm thrilled. I'll go the other way, I'm on the positive end of it. That was a really good start, and particularly in the perimeter. And the DBs did a really nice job of cleaning things up. And we were aggressively attacking our opportunities. We weren't just getting the guys on the ground. We went after it really, really cool. On the sidelines, there was a bunch of really good hits and all.
You got such a veteran group of linebackers. How much do those guys, does that group instill what you want to be about on?
Yeah, since this came together and we saw the guys that we were able to put together, I've been really excited to see them eventually play together and show us what they could do, because they're all tough guys and they all have an attitude about making things happen. They attack very well. From Jamal and all across the board, those guys are all looking to make a play, and they're coming downhill. So if we can, continue to hit the line of scrimmage right and give them a chance to do that, then it's going to be a force in our defense if we're able to keep that going.
Everybody knows what Ashton can do with the ball, but how impressed were you with his blitz pickup and his understanding?
He did really well. He really did. He did really well. We were really pleased about that, and noticed it early in the game when he had a couple of chances. That's all he's shown us. He hasn't shown us anything but that, but you still got to do it. And he came through just fine.
You've always embraced opportunities, and it feels like this is an opportunity. This game on Monday night, national TV, for you to connect with your fans, the team to connect with your fans. What kind of an atmosphere do you expect and you want to see? Would you like to see?
Well, Monday Night Football has been something big to all of us for all the time we've been around. Talked to the team about that today. Some of our guys and our little kids were dreaming about playing on Monday night, so it is a big deal. We have to handle it really well. If you look at our days in Seattle, we've done pretty well on Monday night, and expect to continue to find that consistency that you need in that situation, and not let everything get to your head and take you out of your game. So it's a really big deal to have this opportunity for us, because we have a couple other primetime games coming up later on in the schedule, and I want our guys to really embrace those opportunities.
As somebody who's coached in a stadium that had such a home field advantage, what's your anticipation for what you're going to get at Allegiant Stadium?
I think it's going to be crazy. I can't wait to hear the group get after it. And this is our first chance to really get in front of them. I don't know how many fans they bring, but I know ours are going to go crazy and be loud, and we're really looking forward to it. And I hope that we play well enough to keep them, going throughout the whole 4 quarters.
Watching the week 1 film, what were some things about Justin Herbert that really impressed you, and how much of the challenge that for your defense?
Yeah, he is such a factor that they really played to him. They give him the opportunity in a lot of situations to not just throw the football, but to do his RPOs and get out of the pocket and take off scrambling. There was a play late in the game when they had a chance to ice it in a 4-minute situation, and he takes off. It's like 3rd and 13 or something like that. He takes off and makes like 20, and it looked like they knew exactly what they were trying to do. It was a drop back pass, but he took off. And he's got great skills to really make it difficult on the defense. A normal play can be played, defended, rushed well and all that, and then something else happens, whether he's scrambling to throw it or scrambling to run it. And that factor is the most difficult factor in football to control. And so that's why they've been successful, and they have a great chance to continue that.
When you looked at your team and looked at the adjustments, all three phases, offense, defense, special teams, coaching, there were adjustments, there was talking, calming guys down. How proud of you were you of your staff?
Yeah, we did adjust well at halftime. The games turned. You saw us come right back out after not really working as well as we like to on offense. We went right down the field again to get it started. Defense responded, I don't know, 5 or 6 times in a row to keep them from scoring, and the momentum that was there to be had was really, I think, captured by our guys. So I was really excited about that, and that did have to do with what Chip did and what Patrick did and Tommy. So everybody was on it, and we communicated really well, and the guys responded. The communication is one thing for us to know what to do, but we have to get the point across to the fellas, and that took place. So that was really encouraging, and that's why it was such a positive first opportunity for us. It wasn't just about the score or winning the game. It was about all of the things that we're going to need to draw on as we go forward.
All right, that's the sum of Pete Carroll. He just gave a press conference. You can find that all at Raiders.com. He was very unique there. If he doesn't like the question, if it's corny, air quotes, he's just going to go on to the next question. That was brought to you by Remy Martin 1738 Accord, named in recognition of the royal license granted in 1738. It allowed Remy Martin to plant new vineyards while other vineyards were destroyed, originally blended for the American and Japanese palates. In 1997, it's richer and mellower than Remy VSOP, with more pronounced notes of caramel, smoke, and rich oak, not sweet, but rounder and fuller. Put it into an espresso martini or throw it into one of your great sidecars. Remy Martin, so proud of this partnership. Take the crown. Win with the game's smoothest pick. Remy Martin, team up for excellence as we continue. All right, we got Pete Carroll. You got the monologue. We got some calls. We got Lee Sterling. We have wasted talent. We have Scott Kaplan. Hacksaw. How am I going to get this all in, Bobby? How do I get all these live reads in? We do it. We do it every day. Live from the Raider Nation. I'm JT and always appreciate the Raider Nation and other fans coming in and listening to what we do. Yeah, don't I didn't tag that out right, so don't use it. Yeah.
All right, got one call holding.
Okay.
You,
Yep.
Probably about 7 or 8 minutes second. You want to see if I can get Dino, or do you want to take a call? Or what?
No, I want to take calls and talk. I got it. No problem. Right, how we doing in the chat? Brad says the Chargers are going to show the league how bad the Raiders really are. Ooh, Brad Spicoli. I'm going to kick your ass out of here if you become a wise ass, Brad Spicoli. You can talk a little bit of trash, but excuse me, tread lightly, Spicoli. I had to block some wise ass earlier today on another one. You know, it's a privilege to have this stream. It's a privilege. So if I don't think you're privileged enough and you're a wise ass, we'll just get your ass out of here. Man, it has been tough to be a Charger fan, man. Got to admit that.
Tickets for Juarez are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at in-resort player services.
Life is amazing today. Yeah, 9/11. I'm going to mention 9/11, obviously. Nothing, we're good. Yep. I just need a chart for live reads. We got to come up with something better.
Yeah, I've got the list in the studio, but it's just a list. I mean,
Yep.
He's done. I'm waiting on Dino when he starts.
Hi, we're the Benicis, inviting you to take part in our 25 and 2025 scholarship campaign. Make 2025 the year you help pave the way for continued education.
Pledge $25 a week, $25 a month. Make a one-time gift.
Hacksaw, you said a 105?
Yes, sir.
Like me, Maya Perez. Thank you.
How about a Devin White stop on third down?
25 in 2025.org.
It's kickoff time. And PT
Good Thursday night game tonight, huh? Commanders, Packers at Lambeau Field. Brock Purdy out 3 to 5 weeks.
Yep. I got that Shanahan cut too.
Twice daily, half off all drinks, even the good. Yeah, we said it. PT's Taverns, where football lives, drinks flow, and every scratch card wins. Visit ptstaverns.com to find a tavern today.
Plumbers, HVAC techs, contractors, and DIYers. McFadden Industrial Hardware has the tools, parts, and supplies to power your next project. Open early and stocked with everything you need. Stop by South Decatur near Russell. McFadden Industrial Hardware. Fast, easy, and built for the pros.
When you need cash, how quickly can LendingStore.com connect you to a lender faster than this commercial? Whether you need cash for a medical...
All right, we'll get it going here. Are we going to break for Lee or no?
Yes, definitely.
Big D, I didn't see what you said about Lee. The chat's going so fast, I missed it. Lee Sterling's games for this week will be... So Lee is going to give us LSU, Florida, Notre Dame, Texas, Eagles, and Chiefs. And then he'll go Chargers, Vegas.
Is Devin White stop on third down, but back in third. We're going to be about 7-8 minutes this point.
Okay.
JT the Brick Show, brought to you by PT's, the best happy hour in town, 5 to 7 p.m. and midnight to 2 a.m.
Ball resting inside the 35. Drake May is under center. They run it right up the middle. Ramondre Stevenson. Devin White there to swing him down. Oh, the former All-Pro linebacker burst through. He's had a huge first half. And the Raiders take a timeout with 47 seconds left in the second.
Devin White had a big game. JT, back with you, brought to you by Virgin Hotels Las Vegas. Right now, you can enjoy some of the best specials you'll find anywhere with their 5-5-5 promotion. Check this out. $5 tacos, $5 shots of tequila, $5 live blackjack. Talk about value. Now throughout the end of September for entertainment. October has 2 nights of Megan Moraney on the 4th and 5th at the theater. And then they got comedian Dion Cole. He hits the stage on October 17th. Plus NFR is right around the corner. These are a few reasons why Virgin Hotels Las Vegas is the place to be. So we're previewing the Chargers and what it's going to take to win that game. We got a couple of Chargers guests coming up. There are people who are a little bit more familiar with the Chargers than people you would hear here in Vegas. Devin in Tucson, you're up next on the flagship of the Raiders. Go ahead.
Hey, JT, it's actually Kevin in Tucson. First things first, it's 9/11. Wanted to remember that day and all the lives of the families that were affected that day, and very somber feeling today when I woke up, and just kind of wanted to make sure everybody recalls that. So next, I thought I heard an interesting stat about Ashton Jeanty. Did he have more yards after contact than he did pre-contact in the game in New England? I don't know if there's any way you can look that up. I heard that. I thought that was quite interesting. Driving up to the game Monday night, looking forward to seeing everybody party with the Black Hole on Fremont Street Saturday night. And then quick question for you. I'd like to see you and EA at the Torch. When do you guys wind that down Monday?
We're at the Torch before the game, 90 minutes. So I don't know the exact time, but it's 5 o'clock. We're not at the Torch live. Q would be at the Torch live. I and Eric Allen will be there. So when they open the doors, come on in and we are live from the Torch. I'll get you the exact time because I believe if you go 90 minutes out and the start time of this game, and is it I should know this. When it comes in with this game starting. So I got it. The game starts at 7. We'll be on from 5:30 to 6:45, somewhere in that range, 5:15. So that's what we do. We don't go right to the top of the game. They do a 30-minute network show. So we're on 90 minutes before with Eric Allen. Little tease. We have Jim Plunkett live at the Torch. Jim Plunkett. We have Donald Penn live at the Torch. We have Lincoln Kennedy live at the Torch. Get some surprises at the Torch this year. I'm surprised I have no one on hold and a game's coming up. No, it's my fault. This must be a podcast. I actually recorded this show at 5 a.m. to come on in here and just play it. Let's wake this place up. On a serious note, the caller said it. I said it before the show started, so I apologize to everybody who was in the feed. 9/11 had a very deep, profound effect on me because I'm from New York. And I lost a fraternity brother on that day, James Joseph Kelly. Kells, 24 years ago, went to work from my hometown in Massapequa, where he lived. He got on the Long Island Railroad. He switched trains at Penn Station and took the subway all the way downtown to the World Trade Center. He was a successful young trader at Cantor Fitzgerald. He went to his office to start his day. The plane hit underneath him in the South Tower. You can imagine the confusion that day at that moment. They didn't know what happened. So he got on the phone with his wife. When Kells got on the phone with his wife was on the phone, and Kells had 4 daughters, 4, including a set of twins, under the age of 5. Let me repeat. James Joseph Kelly Kells had 4 daughters, 5 and under, including newborn twins. Well, Kells stayed on the phone with his wife as long as possible until the line went dead. James Joseph Kelly lost his life with thousands of others on this day 24 years ago. It has had a profound effect on my life because this was someone from my town where I lived in and someone who I was going to spend the rest of my life with at fraternity reunions when I went home to visit my parents and sisters, and he was taken from us because of a terrorist act in New York downtown. So I always said we were all affected that day. Some were more affected than others. The widows, the people that lost family members, the firefighters, the police officers who never came home that day. And especially the 9/11 children who were not born yet, but their moms were pregnant at the time and they never met their dads. Or at the time, the people that were taken from us who were there that day and their kids were never born. 9/11 will stay with me my entire life. I will never forget. I will never forget what happened on 9/11 24 years ago. I would hope that everybody today would be able to reflect on that and find a moment of peace and think of the people that were lost that day and never forget. Very important. And on days like today, I found the time to reflect in the morning. I'll reflect tonight in my prayers before I go to bed. And I think everybody, that's what happens in the world. There are some horrible acts, and you should never forget them so they don't happen again. And for James Joseph Kelly and everyone else who lost that lives that day, we will never forget. Godspeed to all the victims of that horrible day on 9/11. 24 years. 24 years. And I shared this story. My son, who was born on May 24th that year in 2001, was a little baby boy swaddled next to us in a bassinet. And I couldn't believe it that I had a newborn baby boy born in May and it was only September. And that was the world we were living in that day. And I'll never forget it. So I apologize for not opening up the show with that. But we did it, and I kind of lost track as we were doing it on the stream. And I'm pretty emotional about it because Kells was a hell of a dude, man. I wish y'all met Kells, James Joseph Kelly. Because, man, I only met him a few times. He was my fraternity brother. But we had a whole life planned. And whenever he'd see me up in college, he'd say, hey, man, can't wait for the summer when I see you back home. And that was taken from me, but more importantly, taken from his wife and his 4 daughters. And his daughters now had a couple of kids, and he would have been a grandfather. He is a grandfather in heaven. Lee Sterling will join us next. We'll talk to Lee. He's got games to pick. Oh, let's see the games that Lee has for me. Lee gives you 3 games for free. He's a professional handicapper. That's really nice. He does that. He's going to give us LSU, Florida, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, and he's going to give you the winner, hopefully, of the Eagles and the Chiefs. That's coming up next. We are brought to you by the new Volvo, the 2025 XC60 luxury SUV, Volvo 215 and Rainbow. Man, I got that one in. All right. 9/11. We had to do that because we want to do that. We never want to forget.
Unnecessary roughness, weekdays at 2 on Raider Nation Radio, 920 AM.
We are a full go on football betting, and the best way to do it is to sign up today for a new William Hill Nevada mobile sports account. You can earn up to a $250 bonus bet after placing your first qualifying wager. With the William Hill Nevada mobile sports app, you'll never miss another bet. William Hill has the largest wagering menu, and the app features same-game parlay, early countdown, and live in-play wagering on all major sports. More information, official rules, and to see participating.
Yep. Messy Jesse, I will never forget either. This wasn't bad. Who makes this? Joy Burst. Anybody hear a Joy Burst? Who makes that? Who makes that?
That's our specialty, and we look at the whole picture, not just a number. We love to say yes quickly because we know it's important to our.
It's weird when you have a product that you like and you don't know who makes it. Don't know who makes that.
What's that?
It's just coffee, 30-gram protein, dark roast, but it doesn't have the name of the company. I don't know who owns Joy Burst. Do you? All right, Lee Sterling. Man, I got a lot of Raider notes here.
Las Vegas never sleeps, and neither does Busy Boots Automotive. Open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
They were playing cornhole today on SportsCenter. The other day, the gal was laying down at night with a blanket on, giving scores. I mean, what the hell happened to SportsCenter, man? What are we doing? Oh, I watch SportsCenter. They give me scores and updates. I need to watch it.
I used to. I can't watch that crap anymore, though. Hey, Lee, Bobby.
Got a quick question for you.
Really good, man. I guess I'll give you about a minute and a half.
With friends. How about this? Getting them for just $3 every single day. Silver
The only time it's kind of limited these days. I'm not going to waste all that crap. If I want to keep the scores, I'll go to the MLB channel.
Just good times. And you guessed it, free parking always. Silver 7, Vegas style fun. The classic Vegas.
What do I think about the Raiders secondary? I mean, it is what it is. I hate to use that term. Caillou Blue Kelly's playing well. Darian Porter's not playing yet. I like Jeremy Chin and I like Isaiah Palomal. We'll see. That's a work in progress. I love Max Crosby and the defensive line. I don't love the secondary yet, but they played well. Give them their flowers. Ben Bad puts a slab of butter in his coffee, Bobby. I have protein coffee every day. I put a slab of butter in it. Ooh, I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, see, a heart thinks it's a great idea. If this feeling's all set, this is going to be Adam's third down stop.
Okay.
Come on, Adam.
Golden Circle Burger, the linebacker, Bison Burger, Philly cheesesteak, the Polish sausage, and so much more is dynamite. Golden Circle Sports Bar's happy hour is amazing with $5 draft beers every day from 10 a to 6 p. Treasure Island, the Vegas destination for those seeking a contemporary resort experience with an ideal location on the Las Vegas Strip. And remember, parking is always free.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show. Brought to you by The Black Hole. Become a member of football's most notorious fans.
Drake May is under center, but not in a tush push formation. He's got three receivers to the left. They send Douglas motion left to right. They fake the pitch that way. Toss it out to Stevenson, tripped up in the backfield, falls forward, and he did not get there. Jamal Adams cleaned it up on the initial hit from Jermaine Pratt, and it's 4th down.
JT with you as we continue on. That is Jason Horowitz, the voice of the Raiders. He joined us this week. And Lee Sterling, my good friend, joins us from Paramount Sports. Says, Lee, college football is underway, man. There was some Cupcake City games. There were a lot of 70 to blank games last week, Lee. Every once in a while, they give you those cupcakes. I always think a really good team playing a bad team is not going to beat them by 50 or 60. But sometimes these coaches don't call off the dogs. They just keep pounding.
No, and then also you have to remember with the change as far as the clock, as far as when you when it's not inside of 2 minutes at the half or the end of the game, actually less plays you're taking on. So when you're seeing the 60 to 70 nothing blowouts, you know, if they were played even 5 years ago, it might be 80 or 90 to nothing. They're that much of mismatch.
All right, let's get going into college. Interesting to see what LSU does. I was surprised they didn't put up more points last week after their great first win of the season. They'll take on Florida. Florida's coming off a bad loss. I'm assuming they had a really focused ongoing week of practice here. How we playing LSU -7.5?
So I think this is a circle game here for LSU. They were up at the half last year playing Florida, and literally if Billy Napier loses that game, Florida moves to 4-6, and he probably doesn't make it to next weekend, maybe not even to Monday. But Florida out of nowhere plays their best half of football, comes back and wins the game 27-16, and knocks LSU out of the college football playoff with that come from behind win. The difference this year is we don't know where Florida is mentally. That, you know, this is a team that could end up 1-5. After this thing, they've got to play at Miami, Texas, and also Texas A&M. I think the LSU difference from the last couple of years is their defense, their speed at linebacker. They have guys that are as fast as defensive backs, come up and make the plays here. Also, Florida quarterback DJ Lagway, I suspect he's not 100%, missed a couple of weeks of fall camp. He's playing with a sleeve on his left leg here. Death Valley swallows teams whole if you're not disciplined, which Florida wasn't last week. 11 penalties for 103 yards, or you're not playing at a high level. Revenge. Goodbye, Sunbelt Billy. LSU 31-14.
LSU in a blowout. They win easily and cover the spread. Notre Dame, Texas A&M. I talked to Tim Brown last night, the Hall of Famer. He's on his way to the game here. All I know is one thing. I don't know anything about these two teams' depth of roster and all that. Texas A&M is an ATM machine. They paid off Jimbo. They paid Jimbo. All I keep hearing about is how much they spend in NIL, how much they pay for players. Are they paying for the right players? Because I know Notre Dame recruits. You get a higher education at Notre Dame, and I know Notre Dame isn't an ATM like Texas A&M. How good is the new Texas A&M team coming into this one?
Listen, I love the traditions of Texas A&M. I saw the campus, saw the core marching onto the field, the crowd. They get over 100,000 people. I just couldn't spend 4 years there. So it doesn't excite me, but a good education. Just think that Notre Dame is a different place, a special place here. And how good is this team? They came back against Miami, down 2 touchdowns on the road in a tough venue. Their quarterback, C.J. Carr, I think he's something special. There's a reason they didn't go out spending, getting an NIL quarterback. A&M's quarterback, Marcel Reed, he's actually their leading rusher. Their 2 running backs, Le'Veon Moss and Reuben Owens, they combined for just 164 rushing yards versus 2 inferior opponents here. Reed just didn't look good in his only 2 starts against top quality teams when he took over after game 4 next year against Texas, last year against Texas and South Carolina here. So Notre Dame can play bully ball with the best of them. Played Miami, great offensive line Miami has. They held that running back trio to just 3.5 yards per carry, and they also were coming off of a bye, an extra week to prepare here. I like Notre Dame 30-17.
Lee Sterling joins us courtesy of Modelo. The number one beer in America is Modelo, the fighting spirit of Modelo. All right, to the NFL, Eagles -1 against the Chiefs. And I thought the Chiefs, that's a tough spot for the Chiefs. It was a Chargers home game, but it was not a home game for anybody else. Justin Herbert tore him up in that game. Rashee Rice is gone. Xavier Worthy got hurt in the game. His status is up in the air here. The initial line I remember, I think if I was right when it came out, was Eagles +1.5. Now sharp money on the Eagles. I know you got to play on this game. Really tough game to handicap.
It is, and you got to think Kansas City's going to bring it all. They don't want to be 0-2. I think the division is much improved with the Chargers and also Denver. Even the Raiders looking much, much better this year. So they don't want to fall to 0-2. But here's the problem. They were not able to run the ball last year. And when you can't run the ball in big games, usually spells trouble. They've got problems at the receiver without Worthy and Rice. I mean, their third receivers are guys that would be fifth or sixth guys on most teams. So you go down the roster, Patrick Mahomes might have to have his best game as a pro here for them to have a chance to win this game. I'm talking about like 23 for 27 for 320 yards. He might have to run for 50 or 60 yards. So Jalen Hurts can't be stopped. They're going to be getting back Carter, their run stuffer on defense. He'll be back, and I think that's the difference here. I like Philadelphia. Not the same team. They've lost 5 starters on defense, but they're still the champs for a reason. Philadelphia, 24-20.
All right, and wow, again, I know what happened last week, and thank you. The Raider game is your game again? I mean, there's something going on here. I know you're not getting the information from me. I'm not an inside source for you, but Chargers, after all that time off, Raiders have had some of their biggest wins against the Chargers in Allegiant Stadium. Chargers look to be better. They're a favorite on paper, but hey, Pete Carroll and those adjustments, and Pete Carroll's beaten Jim Harbaugh more than Jim Harbaugh's beaten Pete Carroll. I know this is your game of the week. You got something on it. How do we get it?
Yeah, we nailed it last week. You want to get it again? Be one of the first 10 callers. Call 800-400-9741. We're going to give you the Chargers and the Raiders on me. Also, you know what? I like the game so much tonight. This could be a preview, possibly, you never know, of the NFC Championship game, Green Bay and Washington. I'll give that game to you free. Both games are on me. 800-400-9741. Again, the number, 800-400-9741. Get Chargers and Raiders and Commanders and Packers. Also, if you're looking for someone to help you out, hit our 40-unit max wager. Last week, we're now 72-28 lifetime on these max wager games. Our biggest game in 3 years goes on Saturday, a 50-unit wager. Check out the website. You want to get involved. Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
Good luck, Lee. See you next week.
Thanks, buddy.
800-400-9741. He's at the phones, not some, gal on his staff. And he just gave you games for free. He'll give you the Raider game for free and tonight's game for free. Now, there's a catch to that. If you do win, hopefully you do business with him. You set up account. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. He's got some big, big players around the world. That's why we have him in the show. Q has him on the show tomorrow. The reason is we trust Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com. Exciting. All right. He's got the Raider game again. He picked the Raider game last week for free. I know that for sure because he texted me at the end of the game. So we got Hacksaw going to join us next. And then after that, Scott Kaplan, Wasted Talent, will join us here. He's really good. He's got a big podcast. We made him an official insider of the show. So everything is rolling here right about now. We got the show really rocking. I want to thank Boyd Gaming. When you think of locals in town, you think of Boyd. 10 properties here. So whatever you're thinking, if you're looking to place a bet on the Raiders, always bet on black. Go to Boyd Gaming to any of their 10 properties in town here and see what they got going on. I tweeted it out today. You'll see it. Football fans catch every play at a Boyd Gaming sportsbook where the game is always on. 1 hour down, one more to go. And man, am I excited for the next hour because I like to know what the show is going to look like and sound like. But I also like some mystery because I don't know what the guests are going to say. And I know that Hacksaw is a notorious, I'm not going to say Raider hater, but for decades, he was fighting off Raider fans on his show. He's must-listen radio. So he'll tell you, I'm pretty sure he's going to pick the Chargers to win. But let's see if Hacksaw has the respect of Pete Carroll and the Raiders coming up next. All right.
That was Gino Smith reading too. That was his press. I forgot to pause it for.
Yeah. So we have Gino.
Yes, that's too nice. If we need it.
All right, how we doing, everybody? I'm going to take a little bit of a break here for a minute. Is that okay? If I could just walk away for a minute, kind of like throw some water on my face and get going here. All right, I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Gambler's bonus hits again. On August 2nd, Candace hit 4 queens, clearing her Gambler's bonus 4-of-a-kind bingo card for over $16,000. Candace hit big, and so can you. With Gambler's bonus, it's why you play the game.
Boyd Gaming is the official and exclusive local casino partner of the Las Vegas Raiders at Allegiant Stadium. Bring your friends, have some fun, but always bet on black. Visit their 10 casinos across the valley. Don't let the game get out of hand. Please bet responsibly.
This is Raider Nation Radio, 920 AM, the home of Raider Nation.
Raider Nation, it's JT. I partnered with Charles Woodson and his Woodson Whiskey. It's the official bourbon whiskey of the Black Hole and the Las Vegas Raiders. If it wasn't your game day whiskey, it is now. Raise a bottle at your next tailgate and toast to the silver and black. The limited edition Black Hole bottles now available at woodsonwhiskey.com. Use the promo code JTTheBrick at checkout for 15% off. That's woodsonwhiskey.com, the official whiskey of Raider Nation. Please celebrate responsibly.
Sign up today for a new William Hill Nevada mobile sports account, and you can earn up to a $250 bonus bet after placing your first qualifying wager. The William Hill Nevada mobile sports app allows you to bet on the go from any iPhone, iPad, or Android device from anywhere in Nevada. Sign up today, and you will never miss another bet. With the largest wagering menu, the mobile sports app features same-game parlays, early cash out, and live in-play wagering on all major sports. For more information, official rules, and to see participating sign-up locations, visit williamhill.us. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is JT for Las Vegas's premier cigar lounge, La Casa Cigars and Lounge at Tivoli Village. You're going to be blown away like I was when I stepped into their walk-in humidor. Over 500 cigar labels to choose from. Plus, they feature one of the largest whiskey, scotch, and bourbon selections anywhere in the valley with live local entertainment 7 nights a week. Great place to watch football games. Check it out at lacasacigars.com. If you're considering a luxury SUV for the family, you need to look at the 2025 Volvo XC90 Hybrid with 3-row seating. And earn the Insurance Institute of Highway Top Safety Pick Award. You can lease or finance. If you want to lease, it's easy. $759 for 36 months with only $39.95 down. If you don't want to lease, buy it and get it at 3.49% APR.
Yeah, the earlier the better, because we're stacking these guests. So the earlier the better, right? I'm not forgetting anyone. Yeah.
Get ready for bacon, barbecue, and bold flavor. Say howdy to the Port of Subs Smoky
Yep.
Western.
All right, everyone, we're back for now. Hour number 2. Bud Crawford. Yeah, I hope Bud Crawford wins.
Sweet, savory, sassy, but not for long. Order now at portofsubs.com, on the app, or right on in today. The Smoky Western, only for a limited time. All work, no play makes for one boring ass week.
All right. Anybody betting on the Raiders to win, or are you betting on the Raiders to cover? I don't know how you bet the Raiders to lose but cover. That's why one of the reasons I don't gamble. People actually bet against their teams but to cover, not to win. Jack thinks 2-0 is incoming. Hey, if everybody could right now subscribe to the Lay in the Wood podcast with Rod Woodson. Lay in the Wood. Thank you.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by Modelo Especial, the new #1 beer in the U.S.
It's the JT the Brick Show.
With my
expectations, we're going to win a bunch. And I don't care who hears that. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. He's legendary. His track record speaks for itself. He competes every single day, and that's what I love about him.
Your Silver and Black home to Sound Off for over 25 years.
Am I willing to play harder longer than the guy lining up across from me, the team lining up across from me? And if you're not, then I want to be the space that's where the Raiders live in.
I expect excellence every day. And now here's JT.
All right, JT, back with you. Hour number 2 of the show. We're loaded up. We don't have any time to breathe. It's that packed. Lee Hacksaw Hamilton in San Diego covered the Chargers, was the voice of the Chargers back in the day. He'll join us. Scott Kaplan, also Wasted Talent. Wasted Talent will join us at 1:20. So that'll be the show today, and it'll be a really fast-paced show this hour before Q comes up right after that. So we're going to be really busy here. So hope everybody enjoys what we're doing. If you're coming out for the game, go to the Black Hole. Just go online to theblackhole.com. They're moving to Fremont Street at the Golden Nugget. They're moving to Fremont Street at the Golden Nugget. And they have so many activations. They have M-Ride to take you to the game. It'll be great. So if you want to go, get a room or go party. I know they're going to have a big unveiling of some new activations right down on Fremont Street. I was asked to be a part of it, but I'll be at the fight. And then after the fight, I'm going to try to get over to Fremont Street again to the Golden Nugget and head on out to the Black Hole. So with all that happening here, we want to hear from you on the final score of the game and what's going to happen tomorrow. I'll play my Pete Carroll interview, which is up and running at Raiders.com. So you get a chance. You could look at that. Coach was great. It's been easy to interview a guy when he's undefeated. Last year, I was interviewing Coach Pierce on a 10-game losing streak, which was difficult. That was very difficult, but we got through it. And he was a class act, and he did everything that he needed to do. He spoke to us when they were losing, and he tried to engage us and get us going. And that was a bit of a struggle last year, but hopefully not now. The franchise, one of the greatest to ever do it, former voice of the Chargers, with his huge podcast and his website that I'm always looking at. Lee Hacksaw Hamilton. Lee, great to talk to you. I have to assume, and I don't like assuming, that you think the Raiders are a little bit more respectable with Pete Carroll at the helm.
Oh, I've been talking about that for an extended period of time since the hire. Right guy, right set of circumstances, right leadership, new leadership, etc. So yeah, I'm excited. Now, I temper the enthusiasm to a degree, and I've worked with Pete. I know Pete. I've dealt with Pete a long time. I temper my enthusiasm only to the degree it takes time to build a roster, and it's going to take time to fix everything that has ailed Raider football for a chunk of time. But what they've accumulated on offense, to me, looks really, really impressive, although I still think you got problems. And sadly, I thought they were halfway up the hill last year with what they'd stockpiled defensively, draft picks, free agents, but then they lost the back seven of the defense. I mean, they got the loss of all these linebackers, the loss of guys in the secondary, I just thought was a real setback. So it's not a complete football team, but he's so vibrant as a leader. And obviously, Spytek has a resume track record that comes, give them another draft and another run at free agency, and maybe there'll be more of a complete package. But making progress, I think what we see with the silver and black right now is better than we've seen with the silver and black in a whole group of years.
What do you like about Geno Smith from covering him and to see the completion percentage, the yards, the deep balls? Because it looks like there's a guy now that can compete with any quarterback in the league. If the Raiders are trailing, he can lead them back. He's got the fourth quarter comebacks, second over the last 3 years. And if he has the lead, maybe they can take the air out of the ball with Ashton Genty.
He's a hired gun. And it's interesting. It's taken him forever to really become established and successful. I mean, he came out of West Virginia. He was a lifetime shotgun quarterback. He'd never been in an NFL offense, and he was in a tough situation in New York. It just takes time, but he showed a lot of growth in Seattle to become more of a complete quarterback. And then obviously when he linked with Pete Carroll to go to Vegas, I thought this is going to be interesting. And then obviously he inherits what I think are two pretty good tight ends. And he inherits what I thought was a really good wide receiver in Jacoby Myers, who's grown into it there where he never grew into it in New England. And then obviously the draft of Ashton Genty, which means the future is right there in front of you. And there's great upside to what they can do offensively. I like him. He's got no fear. He's a tough guy, moves the pocket, got a gun for an arm. Only concern is when you throw it as much as he has thrown it, he does throw picks. So I'd be a little bit worried about that, but you don't want to rein in his enthusiasm and his aggressiveness down the field. The only glitch I have, I just don't know that they have enough people in the offensive front. That takes time to build that, and they've gone through, I don't know, you pull up your depth chart. How many different offensive lineman starters have they had in the last 3 years? It's got to be freaking unbelievable. So it just takes time. But I do like that side of the offense, and they're going to need that side of the offense because I think there are deficiencies on the back end defensively.
Lee Hacksaw Hamilton joins us. So I've been talking to you for 25 years on Charger Raider games, and even with Rivers, Antonio Gates, LaDainian Tomlinson, Junior Seau, who we both know, this is the most concerned I've been in Raider Nation about the Chargers. I was never concerned about them, even with those great teams. The Raiders found a way to split. The Chargers never won the Super Bowl or got there. So even though the Chargers had some good teams with Marty and Norv, I was like, okay, we can maybe split with them with Rich Gannon, John Gruden, Derek Carr. Now I'm concerned. I think Jim Harbaugh and this team is balanced on both sides of the ball. Normally what happens in this rivalry is someone's always hurt, someone always makes a mistake, or there's bad coaching with Brandon Staley. Not anymore with Jim Harbaugh. How much do you like this Chargers roster?
I think it's improved from a year ago, and I think what Joe Horwitz has done in the draft 2 years in a row is stockpile talent. He's got so many guys who can run, especially on the defensive side of the football. That's the drastic change to Charger football. Herbert is a winner. Now, they got some glitches. The glitches are still there on the offensive line. Herbert took a lot of heat last week in the first half, and for some reason, and I just don't understand Kansas City backing away from the blitz package and just letting Herbert tear him apart in the second half of the game. I don't know that the Charger offensive line is complete. They want you to think that hey, we're going to pound the ball and play hardball ball. Well, that hasn't happened yet, just because the offensive line has still got some glitches to it. Now, it's going to probably, if you can keep those guys together and not have any injury setbacks, they'll probably get better and better. But they're dangerous offensively because they got McConkey and they got Keenan Allen, and now they got two young big receivers that they're grooming that they're going to throw to sometimes, and they got two tight ends, and they think Najee Harris will be a power back once he gets back into rhythm. He's been out all at camp with an eye injury, and this young kid, Omani Hampton. So they got chunks of the offense there. I just have reservations on the offensive side of the football. Defense is where Now, granted, Jesse Minter is a blitz-happy coordinator, but this is life after Joey Bosa, and this is life with a bunch of young guys in the secondary. So are they going to be able to get to the quarterback? Because Bosa is not there to be a tandem with Khalil Mack. I have reservations about that, although Minter sends people from the secondary like you wouldn't believe. So I think it's work in progress on defense. I do think offense is going to be fun to watch. I think Herbert is just brilliant.
So do I. I think Herbert's brilliant, but in the Raiders series, these games are always close, and the way the interceptions in the playoffs last year were brutal, and there's no pressure. It seems like him because you're the king of Southern California media. There's no pressure on Herbert in L.A. I mean, there's no one talking about him in L.A. and L.A. media. They're talking about the Rams and LeBron James and the Dodgers versus the Padres. So, I mean, he doesn't live, Lee, in a pressure cooker. And now he's got Harbaugh, who thinks he's great, too. How much pressure is it on Herbert to take the Chargers to the next level?
Well, he's got to win a playoff game. I mean, that's the next thing on the resume that he's got to check off, and he's 0-2. But this is an organizational crisis. His career record, JT, coming into the start of the season was 41-40 with no playoff win. But that's not on him. His statistics that he's piled up, throwing by himself with bad people around him, have just been staggeringly good. So I just think if these guys are what they think these guys are going to be in that offensive front, that he's going to put up even more numbers, better numbers, etc. Now, he's got to do it in postseason. And in postseason, you're not playing the Carolina Panthers. You're playing good people like D'Amico Ryans and Houston's defense, etc. So Is there pressure? There's not public pressure. Maybe it's because the Chargers are on the periphery of coverage and interest in the LA market. But that kid is really good, and that kid is driven, and he makes things happen. So he'll get there. He'll get there unless there's something catastrophic happens to him or the skill people around him.
Lee, I think Ashton Genty can save the Raiders for a couple of reasons. If he had a touchdown in that first game, and he didn't get 40 yards, but he secured the football in the rain. He didn't fumble, and they used him early, and they needed him at the end to close out that game. I'm expecting, I don't know when it's going to happen, maybe not against the Chargers, 150-yard games, 160s. This kid's special. Marcus Allen said it to me. He's special. So if he has a game like that, it keeps the Raiders on the field, and then it's play action to Brock Bowers. And the Raiders got a great punter in A.J. Cole, who's a weapon. But the difference with the Raiders over the last 6 years here in Vegas is they're always 3 and out. Genty's got to be the guy who gets a first down on second down. On third and short is an easy first down pickup here. I don't know until I see it. Do you think it could change the perception of the Raiders if Genty has a breakout year? I'm talking 1,400 yards.
That's a little bit of a reach when I look at this offensive line.
Okay.
Until that offensive line proves to me that they can power block and open holes. That kid runs hard. That kid's got balance. That kid's got toughness. That kid's got hands. He's got every ingredient, except does he have the right tackle, right guard, center blocking for him? Mm-hmm. That's the big issue, and that's what the first 7 weeks of the season will show us. Do they get progressively better? Now, that being said, the wild card is you got a proven quarterback who's going to make plays downfield. And that Geno Smith starts hitting big plays and chunk plays, et cetera. That's going to back the pass rush off. That'll open up some of the blocking lanes. But what's happening up front in the interior of your line from guard to center to guard, to me, is going to be most critical for Genty to be Genty. There's no doubt he's got every ingredient to be a star in this league. But you got to have people opening holes. Just look at what Derrick Henry has become. When Derrick Henry has good people to block. I don't see that right now with the silver and black. That's not to say it can't happen by week 6 or 7 or 8, but they got to prove themselves at this point.
Lee, 2 business questions on the way out. I'll start with the Chargers. I ask you every year with the Spanoses and the payment to Kroenke and SoFi and the new facility, which they dropped a lot of money in. What is the actual perception versus reality of the Spanos family's now net worth, what they have, their ownership percentage? Mark Davis has control of the Raiders, but Tom Brady bought a nice chunk and 2 other investors, and there are other investors. What does the financials look like for the Spanos family in L.A.?
Well, the ownership is MIA. They're not in the public eye at all, and that's because so many bad things have happened to them since they ever bought the franchise. I think, JT, they've owned it for 43 years. They've had 15 winning seasons. Their legacy is failure. Their legacy is they screwed everybody in San Diego when they turned their back on 55 years of loyal support with a good franchise. So I don't know that they're held in high regard. I don't think financially they have deep pockets. They're not Robert Kraft. They're not some of the other great legacy owners of this league. That's an issue there. And, I mean, you hit the nail on the head early on. What are they talking about in L.A.? Dodgers, Padres, here come the Lakers. And by the way, the Rams are pretty damn good, and they're talking Super Bowl Rams. So the Chargers are on the periphery of an awful lot of interest. And do they have big crowds that show up at SoFi? Yeah, but they're wearing Kansas City colors or Green Bay colors. You know what it's like with the silver and black colors. When the Steelers show up here, it's like a freaking game. And, at the old Three River Stadium, everybody wearing black and gold. So right now, it's a really good franchise in terms of player personnel with good leadership, Harbaugh and Joe Horvitz, but the ownership is not held in very high regard at all.
And the Kawhi Leonard, where there's smoke, there's fire. If they circumvented the cap in LA with the Clippers, and connecting the dots look really easy here for Pablo Torre, who saw some payments come in as Ballmer made an investment in a company that kind of is a bizarre company. It looked like it was a car wash to clear out some money for Kawhi Leonard. And he's a player. If you're going to offer him the money, he's going to take it. Ballmer went on the record denying this. What's at stake with Adam Silver to see if the Clippers were cheating and what could be the ramifications?
Well, Silver said yesterday at the press conference there will be no rush to judgment. He doesn't want to hear any of this conversation. They want to do their due diligence. They did hire a high-powered law firm. This is a law firm that killed the Minnesota Timberwolves about 5 years ago with the number one draft pick who got illegal inducements, a guy by the name of Joe Smith, who was in the league and played okay and then was out of the league. I have a problem, though, because I'm connecting the dots that are just not involving the Clippers. I have a problem because these exact same dots occurred in Toronto. And this is Kawhi's uncle, Dennis Robertson, who is also his agent, who went to the Toronto Raptors and asked for all these, quote, add-ons. And the Raptors went to the league and said, these are illegal, are they not? And the league said, damn right they're illegal. And that's why Kawhi Leonard left Toronto. Well, this uncle agent asked for the same set of things from Steve Ballmer. And Ballmer said, no, we can't do private jets. We can't give you ownership in different companies. That's circumvention of the cap. And then they found a business entity that he could do a no-show endorsement for. And now we find out that the deal was not $28 million. The deal was $48 million. $28 million in cash and $20 million in stocks. That company, of course, went bankrupt because it was corrupt. I have a hard time believing Ballmer would ever be part of this. He is such a great citizen. He's done so many philanthropic things in the community. He's such a raging success as a business guy. But one of his minority owners, evidently, is the one that wrote some of the checks into this company that wound up in Kawhi's hand. I don't think they'll penalize the Clippers. Will they penalize Kawhi? Will Kawhi get suspended for asking? And this goes back to his agent hyphen uncle. It's a deep story, but there's a track record that goes from L.A. now back to Toronto, and all these things look like it's a repeat set of violations. Raptors didn't do it. Ballmer said we can't do it, and then it got done behind the curtain.
Great information. Lee, tell everybody about the website, the podcast. You're always evolving. I appreciate it.
If you like sports, please check my website. I write on it every day of the week. It's there first thing every morning. I guarantee you won't find this information anywhere else. It's just LeeHacksawHamilton.com. Been doing this for a long time, which proves if you do it long enough, you should get good enough at it. The other item, I do 2 podcasts a week. It's up on YouTube channel, just Lee Hacksaw Hamilton. We cover a ton of different sports day in, day out.
Take care, my friend. Thank you.
Thanks, JT.
Lee Hacksaw Hamilton. How good was that? Wow. Okay. You want the good news or the bad news? I'll give you the good news. That was Lee Hacksaw Hamilton. He knows what he's talking about. Okay, here's the bad news. Lee Hacksaw Hamilton, who's really good, just told you he doesn't believe in the Raiders' offensive line. He just told you. He says, I like him, JD. I like the team. No, I don't believe in the offensive line. I like the team. No, he doesn't believe that the offensive line can run block. That's the perception of a former play-by-play host and someone who is very good at what he does. So he also told you the Chargers got young players at the defensive tackle position and lost their best 2 tackles to free agency. All right, that's good information that I'll take to the pregame show. And I'll get good information from Wasted Talent, the acclaimed podcaster who's now an insider on our show. Good to have you, my friend. What do you think of this? Well, before we get to this game, what were some of your takeaways from the Raiders win in New England?
Oh, man. One of the biggest takeaways was the halftime adjustments by Patrick Graham. This is something that's been kind of missing from the team over the last few years. If you look at what happened in the first half of the game, they weren't really able to create too much pressure. And in the second half of the game, the Raiders dialed it up. They kind of pinned their ears back. In the first half, they had 38 plays, 201 yards allowed, a sack, 3 QB hits, 2 tackles for loss. But in the second half, they came out just rearing back, blitzing, 33 plays, 127 yards, 3 sacks, 6 QB hits, 4 tackles for loss, an interception, and a forced fumble. So it was phenomenal work by Patrick Graham and that front 4.
All right, so I thought that was really good. Were you surprised at the way Caillou Blue Kelly played, considering you thought Josh McDaniels, I did, would go right at him, go at that secondary? He held up well.
Yes, he did. But you know what, JT? I'm not surprised because Pete Carroll has always had so much success with young players. He kind of follows that Jimmy Johnson metric. He plays young players. He always has, and he's always had success. And I just kind of had to put my faith in Pete Carroll, because he's done this everywhere he's been, right? So the one thing I was surprised about was that bogus pass interference call. I mean, you couldn't cover a guy better than that. I couldn't believe they threw that flag. I could not believe it, man.
All right, let's get into this game with the Chargers. I've been saying Wasted Talent joins us. We'll tell you how to get all this content. This is the most alarmed I've been with this organization of them being good in 25 years. I think they're good. I think they're really well coached. I think their quarterback is elite. They got a young running back like the Raiders did. They got Khalil Mack. But there's always an injury. This year it's Slater. Most years it's Mike Williams or Keenan Allen's hurt or Derwin James doesn't play in the Raider game. When this team is at full strength, they currently have a better roster than the Raiders. How can the Raiders beat them?
The Raiders have to. It starts up front on both sides of the football. Like when you talk about Justin Herbert, he played sensational last week. He's looking like a top 5 player at his position, and the Raiders have to get in a situation where they can rush 4 and drop 7. Patrick Graham last week played a lot of cover 2. And when you play cover 2, cover 3 shell, you need for your front 4 to be successful up front. We're going to need this going to have to be a Max Crosby, Tyree Wilson special. It has to be. The Raiders did pretty well pressuring the quarterback last week, but they're going to have to do even better this week to stop Justin Herbert from getting out there, throwing the ball down the field, getting Quentin Johnson involved. And they also have to make sure that they keep a bracket on Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen has notoriously killed teams on third down. And he's always done that against the Raiders. We have to make sure we stop Keenan Allen on third down and keep us in a favorable down and distance. I mean, look, when I'm looking at this Raider team, it starts up front, and it also starts up front with our offensive line. Our offensive line, that right side of the offensive line, has got to kind of get it together. And listen, the whole JPJ, Meredith situation, Glaze, these guys are young players. They're going to have to learn how to play together. Like if you look at some of the numbers from the last game, the only offensive line that we had that didn't allow any pressures was Colton Miller. So just from Parham down, these guys have to communicate and really, really do their best to keep Khalil Mack and the rest of that defense at bay. And for whatever reason, when Khalil Mack comes back to play the Raiders, he always, does a number on us. And Khalil Mack's not the same player he was, but he's still a significant force out there when he gets going. And also it's getting Ashton Genty going. 2 yards a carry. We know it's his first game, but the Raiders didn't draft him as high as they did for him to get 2 yards a carry and do pass protection. We have to protect and get holes open for Ashton Genty to get out there and really get going so we can kind of keep the ball out of Herbert's hands.
All right, so I agree with you. That's a really important point. You're so good, wasted talent. Listen to the insight he has. They have to get the run blocking going. Have to. It's not supposed to be difficult to run block unless you're going up against the 85 Bears or the Ray Lewis Ravens. You're supposed to be able to know the snap count and get a push and move the pile. And they proved that they hadn't done that. I mean, Ashton had a good early run in the game, and I'm sure they're going to break some holes. So this is about a matchup to me. I talked to enough people in the building this week that I think we're going to have to see the ball come out quicker for Geno. He was able to, he got sacked 4 times, but when the pocket was clean, he threw deep balls. 5 different receivers had receptions of 20 yards or more. You think we're going to see pop, Geno just getting the ball out there really quick on slants to Brock so we can pick up some yards where the Chargers aren't expecting it?
Oh, 100%. I mean, Geno Smith goes from being, an elite quarterback to generational when he's indoors. The splits of the dome between him being outdoors is phenomenal. And in the last 14 games in a dome, Geno Smith has thrown for 30 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, has 110 rating. So, we're probably going to get the best Geno Smith, the best version of him against the Chargers. The thing that I noticed with Geno, and this is no disrespect to any Raider quarterbacks previous to him in the last few years, the fact of how tough Geno Smith is. Geno Smith got hit, got sacked 4 times, got up and just continued to keep playing at an excellent level. He didn't get rattled. And I love the play calling from Chip Kelly. He just rolled the hot hand. He put Geno in some situations to be able to roll out, use his legs, and create space to get out there to deliver the ball on the field and pick up a lot of key first downs. But I think Geno Smith is going to be like in that 3-step drop kind of a mode. Just delivering the ball, kind of getting into a rhythm almost. And I think the Raiders, and I'm not just saying this from an ignorant fan standpoint. I'm saying this from a real level. I feel like the Raiders have a great chance to beat this team if they can run the football early so you can sell that play action pass so Geno can go downfield. I really think that we can beat this team at home because we're going to have to split with these teams in the AFC West if we're going to hope to go to the playoffs. I mean, if you look at teams that start out 2-0 since 1990, 72.6 of the teams that start out 2-0 have made the playoffs. So this is the most direct route to the Raiders getting to the playoffs, beating divisional teams and starting out and getting that early momentum in the season.
Wow. So this is a really big game, and I'm loving the fact that you're sensing that every game's big. It's also Pete Carroll's birthday. It's the home opener. It's Monday Night Football. It's a lot of the rookies' debut in Allegiant Stadium. I said the same thing about the Bears. Monday night, the Bears had the 40th anniversary of their Super Bowl 20 team. Big deal. You'll never see that group again, ever again. 40-year anniversary. It's Monday Night Football. It's their new head coach, Ben Johnson's debut. Caleb Williams, and all of a sudden, this kid, J.J. McCarthy, he accounts for 3 touchdowns. No one's ever done that, ever in a road debut, playing in his first ever game, and they win. So you really think like I do. This game means everything. If the Raiders walk into the tunnel with the victory to go 2-0 and Genty's 2-0 with a big performance, the Raiders will get this national momentum that we've been waiting for.
Yes, yeah. I mean, look, there are a lot of people, and I'm watching a lot of the national media try to down Ashton Genty in his first game, which I think is criminal. You can't do that. This is his first game. The guy only had 6 carries in the first half. And most of the carries that he had in the second half, he had 10 carries in the fourth quarter to kind of salt the game away. So it kind of eroded down his average. I know he had 44 yards after contact and wound up with 38 yards. Mm-hmm. So that goes to show you what happened at the end of the game. But this is an Ashton Genty special. If this kid can get rolling against this Charger defense, I think this could be the litmus point for him having a 1,000-yard season. Mm-hmm. This is the building block in the entire season. I think this, and I don't want to be hyperbolic, I think this is, one of the most important games of this season to kind of turn this franchise around. Wow. It really is. I would love to see Pete Carroll keep his 5-4 advantage over Jim Harbaugh going because from college to the National Football League, those guys are tied 6-6. So this is like the Montagues and the Capulets. These guys have always been rivals, and I want to see Pete Carroll keep that advantage over Jim Harbaugh. That'd be a great birthday gift for him. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, for sure. Tell everybody where they can get all your content.
Raider Nation Unlimited on YouTube, Wasted Talent Raiders on Twitter, and we're all over social media. JT, I appreciate you bringing me on.
Thank you. Got it, my friend. There he is, Wasted Talent. What an addition. Bobby, I'd take a pat on my back, but you're too far away. We found someone good because I went on his podcast and I said, ooh, he's good. Let's get him on our show. And how good is he? Wasted Talent. You will catch him every other week in this time slot. I thought that was great. So that's 29 minutes of commercial-free Raiders content. And I got a lot of partners I got to get to. I got to get to all of them right now. And I'm going to start with Mike from La Casa Cigars. He's up in Sacramento. He called me because he listens to the show. He's on the YouTube stream. He knows everything that we do. And I know everything he does because he's a friend and he's a partner. La Casa. It's open at Tivoli Village, and they're still building it out. The sign, the big, gorgeous sign. You could look out at the JW Marriott out on Rampart. You can watch live entertainment 7 nights a week, over 500 cigar selections, and they carry everything that we have with our spirits and beer. La Casa Cigars and Lounge. Go see Mike. Thank you, everybody. That's an hour and 33 minutes of unbelievable radio, and I had nothing to do with it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please find the new podcast with Rod Woodson, Lay in the Wood. Need everybody, Fabian, to subscribe. Subscribe so I can buy everybody beer at the Torch. We have a Friday show tomorrow. We will stream the first hour of it tomorrow. Be there.